All right, Creel, this is going to be hard to do without a dummy, so you're going to have to use your imagination. I want to go over some concepts from a technique you probably know good and well, Kimono, right? And there's a bunch of different ways to do it. Things I'll be discussing with you over the next year or so, if you're still interested in doing this thing, is there's two major ways of executing Kempo. There's that embryonic blocky, I call it Lincoln log, because if you take oversized Lincoln logs, you start having to move them around. Well, it's very blocky, it's very heavy. And there's a place for that. And it's to teach people how to move their bodies as a single unified concrete unit, right? So like you take it like the SL4 and they drop back in that block and they go, here's that index with the fingers pointing out and then it rises up to the ceiling and then you step forward and you bam, and everything in their body goes wham, and it hits that fucking thing. Wham. And you compare that to the people that just go, here's my inner blood, man, right? So there's a place that Lincoln log, boom, hammering Kempo. There's also a place for the quicker stuff, right? And you can take the same technique and change the flavor on it and still be doing the exact same technique. So you can do a Lincoln log version of the delayed sword, you can do a motion Kempo version of delayed sword, and you can do what I call the flashing blades version of delayed sword, which you're probably already familiar with. A lot of the kind of flashing blade motions from out of the stuff that Mills does. I like Mills's approach, but when you go too quickly to the flashing blades, you lose the ability to make each one penetrate, right? Each time you hit something, you should break what you hit. And if you're going, block chop and you're going too fast because you're going, I'm so quick, right? You're not getting that bam, that's gonna dead arm him or break his acromioclavicular joint if you hit him here instead of here, Where do you land that block? Do you land it here? Do you land it here? Do you land it here? The effect varies depending on where you hit it. If I take a Lincoln log and I go, well, bam, and I nail it right here, that's gonna have a different effect on the guy's body. If I get used to landing that Lincoln log, then I get used to having everything I own come together in a concrete cement unit, just in that moment of contact. I can still move through that point of contact into the quicker Kempo style of movement while maintaining that solidity of bam, and break what you hit, right? But it can be done as you're passing through a point, instead of having to stop at that point and meditate for a couple of seconds before going on to the next movement, right? So, long kimono, right? The thing I want you to think about is there's a soft version that we teach in this length of the world. Normally it's that one where you kind of punch off to the 45 degree, break the arm because it's reached across, grabbing you by the collar, right? And you step back, but most people, left in, whatever the heck, it's just a punch to that 45 degree. And you go that, boom, and you pin at the same time, you pin this one and drop your weight. That becomes what's bringing his arm down as this shoots up and creates the hyperextension. But there's one that has nothing to do with that I want you to start experimenting with the timing in it. I know you've seen the Vunak videos where he's doing, drum here, and it's the offbeat timing is kind of similar to that. And it's that same attack, so that same reach across, you still do that latch pin, but instead of punching that 45, it's an uppercut. And the uppercut moment, we want to take the jaw and the elbow at the same time. So we're breaking the elbow here and getting under the jaw here. And if I was teaching an embryonic lads here, freeze, right? But there's no freeze in this. It's a very quick bass clef in music. Music, the bass clef looks like, right? It's almost like a half a heart. And they'll do dots and stuff like that, depending on what they want you to do. But it's just very quick. That was kind of a lousy one. That's lousy too. But we're going to go from under the chin, break the arm as we pass through the point. We're not going to the point, we're going through it. And we're going to go straight, we're going to transition from neutral bow to reverse bow instantaneously. So we go break and chip the jaw, straight down, hit to the nuts. Then return to a neutral bow, we're going to do a very low, short, sharp, outward hooking parried palm up. He still has his arm across the body because I counter grab it. I didn't just pin it, I counter grab it so it doesn't get to go anywhere. That's still mine. Now it's this way across my body. I got to get rid of it for what I want to do next. So I'm going to do a very short, sharp, outward hooking parry, just enough to catch it right there and go bump it out of the way. As soon as I bump it out of the way, I go, it's like a rebounding effect, right? Now you let this snag for a second, and then go back, get him behind the head, and then this pulls him forward and down into a two-finger spear, vertical two-finger spear to his left eye. There's a reason for that. When you start hitting the afterburners on this thing, if you're aiming like this, your body's gonna go, what do you want from me? But if we thread, the body will go, okay, I know what you want. And if we hit this, bam, and we get that back of the head and pull it and spear it at the same time, it will, your body knows, okay, I just gotta feed that knife edge right over that wrist, and I'll take that left eye en route, right? So when I aim for that one, and the timing on that thing is gonna be, we break, so we break around, hit this thing, hit that small outward hooking parry, and just go, poof. Then when you practice this on a guy, where you're aiming with this thing for is right distal to the crotch of the elbow, right there. So you bap, bap, you hit this thing right here, it'll pull him forward. At the same time it clears his arm. It's close enough to hook the elbow and yank his shoulder. So you want to go, you hit, 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 pop this thing like this, get him to come forward a little bit, and as he comes forward, that draws his head into the grab behind the head, and then push, drag, stick those fingers in his eyes. On bag, if I'm doing a finger spear this way, I run a really good chance of hurting my fingers in that perpendicular line of force. So if this is my striking surface, my module one, my heavy bag, instead of finger spearing this way, I'm going to flag it a little bit like this. Reason being, if I hit it, I have a give, right? And I want to have the give. I don't have to have a solidified hardened spear to really jack the guy's eye up. I just have to be able to hit it, and if my hand happens to go a little bit, it's okay, it's not a big deal, right? We haven't lost anything. We call that soft blown kimono because it's not bang, boom, boom, bam, right? It's just, oh, done, right? And that's it for that one. Again, another one coming.